Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
I've been looking forward to this all freaking day, people. Referrals podcast episode. They're not all created equal. They're not. This one's the best today, up till today. Here's the thing is we have an awesome opportunity today to give you insights into an event that everyone should host. Everyone. We're going to go right to it. And the thing about this event is you're going to have the opportunity to hear from someone who has done a few of these events, but that's not all. You're also going to hear from someone who is an expert in Gen and communication in their own right, who got the opportunity to shadow them at this event and be a client, and also look at it from the perspective of being a potential sponsor. So we have a great opportunity today to get different perspectives on a comedy night event and all that goes into it. I can't wait. You can't wait. We'll get right to it here in a second. Here's the thing. Have you taken Event Mastery yet? I mean, how many of these podcasts do you have to listen to? How many times do I have to tell, yeah, this guy just ran his first event in 2 years and got 170 referrals. How many times I got to do that? How many times you got to hear from Clay that he got 12 referrals at his first event and 24 at his second? How many of these do you have to hear before you're convinced to go to eventmastery.com? I'm not talking anymore. You got to do the work. Let's go. Join us. We're having a party, right? Have some fun with us. And not only that, it's leverageable, it's scalable, it's manageable, it's fun, it's passion, it's compassion, it's giving, it's receiving. It's all the great things that make Gen happen. Today we're talking about Event Mastery. And I have to tell you that I am so lucky and fortunate to have our guest here today. First and foremost, we have Toril Schoepfer White and Johnny White. Toril is a many-time guest. I literally think she's on every 2 or 3 months. And you know why? Because she's growing and implementing and doing so many crazy, awesome things. She had a head start on the podcast. She was doing a lot of these things way before we started our podcast. So she had a head start. But nobody's caught up. Nobody's caught up to her. She's still Toril, right? Top of the heap Toril. And Toril Schoepfer White out of Washington area. Is it Sumner or Sumter?
Yes, Sumner. Mm-hmm.
Sumner, right? So it's Sumner area. And so first and foremost, Toril, welcome to Referrals Podcast. So welcome is it's like welcoming you to my house. Like, come on in again, close the door behind you and go ahead and get in the refrigerator, get whatever you want, right? It's like a long-time guest. So thank you for being here. And for those of you that don't know, Toril is the ambassador of implementation in Gen, and she represents that so well. She is an implementer. Literally, by the time we get done talking about things, she's got it done. I mean, I loved coaching her. She's so coachable, and literally she would hear it, she would do it. It was done, it was systematized, and then she hired somebody to do it. And that's it. That's the magic. That's the good stuff. And listen, here's the other thing. It's comedy night. So we had to have the ambassador of fun as well. So we've got Johnny White, Johnny and Toril make a, spouses selling houses team. But so much more than that. They're a power couple in the generosity generation. And Johnny, the ambassador of fun, is, I'm telling you, not only is he fantastic at real estate, he's like the buyer's agent, like extraordinaire, but he's also really good at softball. You may or may not have known that, but here's the thing. I know he's fun, but he's also a little whacked. You know how I know how he's a little crazy? He's a pitcher in slow pitch softball. And I will tell you, the middle's freaking open. Oh, man. I'm telling you, actually, they have league rules now where you can't hit the middle during league week, right? During the weekend, the middle's open. But during league week, is that a rule in your place, Johnny? Is you can't hit the middle during the week?
No, actually, we don't have any of those leagues, but they do have in the senior league where they started, where the team could option to have a net in front of the pitcher.
There you go. If you hit the net, is it a base hit?
It's live, but the pitcher can't make a play out of it.
Okay. Looky there. Referrals podcast. I'm telling you right now, you guys learned something new here today on Referrals podcast. Johnny, welcome to Referrals podcast.
Thank you.
And of course, we have Neal Smith, the ambassador of connection in the generosity generation. And by the way, he is teaching a time management session that you've got to check out at gengenfire.com. Check it out at gengenfire.com. And I'm telling you, even if you can't make it for the live session, sign up for it so you get the recording, because you're going to be blown away with time management, time blocking, and staying in what we call the influential zone. He's a phenomenal teacher, but you also may not know this, is that he is a phenomenal lender in Sacramento, California. One of our favorites. Welcome to the show, Neal Smith.
Thank you, Michael. I'm looking forward to it.
So today we're going to jump right into what we're talking about, which is the comedy night. And the first thing that I want people to know about Toril is she does several events a year. She runs the app, right? She runs the system. She does it very well, or they run the system and they run it very well. And so why a comedy night, Toril, out of all the events that you could do?
Well, we couldn't wait to get back together. We're Washington State, and we've been shut down for 2 years doing virtual events and online stuff, Zooms, like everyone has. But I feel like we were kind of the first to have COVID, and then we were kind of the first to kind of open, or the last to open back up. So we had a I Love You latte, but we knew that we could do an all yap and invite everyone and their brother and whoever to this comedy night, because we had 260 seats to fill on a Sunday afternoon, and we could make more connections and be really into love and generosity by inviting them to come join us.
Yeah, I love that. And here's the thing about a comedy night that is brilliant. First of all, you don't have to be the center of entertainment. The nice thing is the comedians are going to be the center of the less funny you are, the more likely you should do a comedy event. That's the truth, right? Because it balances you out. And here's the other thing that is so powerful with a comedy night is that unlike a movie night, like a movie night is very family oriented. You have kids, and if you have 260 seats, there'll be 180 parents and 80 kids. And that's fine and dandy. But here's the thing, the kids aren't very good referral sources. No offense to the kids, but you have 80 people there who are not going to refer you. Comedy night, adults only, baby. So you've got 260 adults in the room who have the opportunity to refer you. As a lot of people know, my two favorites right now are movie night and comedy night. They're just because they just go so well with so many people's databases. So I love that. And Neal, why did you decide to shadow their comedy night versus maybe going up for the I Love You latte?
Honestly, it's just about timing. I'm pretty busy, and it just happened to be that I saw that, and we happened to be coming off the spring break, and my wife's from that area, and we got the chance to fly up on it. Just was kind of just worked out. It wasn't a specific event at all. It just, I knew I wanted to go up there and learn from the masters for sure. And it was great.
Love it. So, all right. So let's talk about the planning sequence. We'll go through the 5 sequences of event mastery, right? And so the first sequence is the planning sequence. And how many of these have you done before?
We've had 3 comedy events.
Okay. And so it was this year. You didn't do one last year though, right?
Or the year before.
So it's been 2 years since you've done a comedy night. So it's almost a little bit like reinventing the wheel, but was it nice to pull out the old plans so you had them?
Yeah. And we have new team members, right? Like our new client care events manager is a completely different person that hasn't hosted with us a comedy night.
Yeah, so having the system was very handy. So what went into the planning? So if I wanted to do a comedy night, or Neal wanted to do a comedy night, or somebody listening wanted to do one, what were some things that we need to look at as far as the planning part of this?
Well, we follow the all yap, right? Where we invite, and how we do it is we created a Facebook group that has our tribe in it, that we have over 1,100 of our family, friends, forever clients, neighbors, you name it, they go into this tribe group. And then we create an event within that group to invite everyone through an event because we see the Facebook events, right? But then we also have each team member has their own tribes within our tribe. And so we personally invite them by phone call, text, email, all of the above to get them involved in RSVPing, because we also decided that we wanted each person to RSVP their ticket individually versus we've done before where tell us how many tickets you want and we'll reserve them. But this way we were able to do a door prize entry form in lieu of having someone, have a link. So they basically like, here's the link to get your ticket, fill out this form and it gets you a ticket. And so each person had to do that. And we were able to plant that seed of referability and ask the questions like we do on a door prize entry form and reserve all 260 tickets.
Yeah, I love that. And you're, sometimes if you're at an event and it's a paper door prize entry form, the husband will fill it out or the wife will fill it out and they'll go, well, they filled it out. So you kind of have the opportunity for referrals, but also they're having their opportunity to win, right? Which then makes you want to look at your door prizes. Are they worthy of winning? So then they'll both fill it out, right? But
Michael, ask them how many referrals they got before the event was there.
Yeah. So how many referrals did you have before the event was there?
Just the online entry because it wasn't really like enter this and you'll win a prize. It was enter this and you get a ticket. Yeah. Even though they always know we have prizes, right?
That's right.
They'll get the seat at the comedy club, but we had 39 referrals and me's electronically.
Yeah. And these are 39 referrals and me's just for you, right? Just for the real estate company. Yep. At this point, you hadn't even lead generated for your sponsor partners yet.
No, we did. We had 75 online.
75 before the event even started.
Yeah, for our vendors, because it was basically our door prize form through Google Documents. That's right. Where it creates a link and then it goes into a spreadsheet and we ask the questions.
Yeah, and here's the beauty of this, right? Do you see the genius of what they did there? First of all, they have referrals to follow up with. The other thing is when the people come in and they gave a referral, you're like, oh, Denise, thank you so much for referring Joyce. That's all. And then everybody around you hears you congratulating Denise for referring Joyce. And it feeds the referral culture. Here's the other thing, 75 referrals to the sponsors before the event even started. Think about that as a sponsor partner and you're already getting leads and you haven't even shown up at the event yet. Is that worthy of your investment? Yes. But here's the other thing that's genius about this is you could have questions on the registration form that are for sponsors you want, but don't have yet. So you could literally have a question on there for septic tank inspection. Because how the heck, why? I had all these sponsor partners in my head and that one came to mind for some reason. My mind is in the gutter, I guess. But here's the thing is that septic tank inspection, you could say, would you or, do you have a need for septic tank inspection? Yes or no. And it says yes. And you've got 7 of them. And you go to the septic tank inspector that you've been working with and you go, I got 7 here. Let's work together. Why don't you sponsor my event? Come in, bring in a good door prize, give us a couple $100 to help out with the offset the expenses, and you're going to get it. You have 7 already, and you're like, we haven't even had the event yet. So you could even get sponsor partners from the questions with having that Google Doc form up front. How many questions were on your Google Doc? Do you remember?
It's just our event. I think we have a total of like 10 questions.
Yeah. So I would say you could have up to 20 really comfortably. I really do. With a comedy night. Why could you do it at a comedy night? Some of the others, because the ticket is so valuable. A movie ticket is so valuable. They're willing to answer 20 questions. I wouldn't go above 20, but they're willing to play 20 questions for a movie ticket, like to Thor Ragnarok, which is coming up July 8th. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be crazy. Having an event Saturday morning, July 9th, is just it's gonna blow it out of the water. You're gonna have a ton of people there, and it's also gonna be in demand, and they'll answer as many questions as they can or have to make it happen. So now, how did you pick the venue? How did you pick the place that you did this at?
It's our local comedy club. It's only like within 15 miles of our marketplace, and that is our marketplace too, but from our office.
Yeah.
And otherwise we have to go to Seattle. And so it's the only one available.
Yeah, it was the only one in town. And that's what a lot of people, I mean, people hear you're over 200 transactions, you're doing all this great work, you're getting 100, you got over like $200,000 you've donated to charity. They think she's in this huge market. She's really not in a huge populated market. It's a somewhat smaller area. So it's the only comedy club in town. And that's why you had to do it on a Sunday, right?
Yep, because they were full, so we made it Sunday Fun Day.
That's right, Sunday Fun Day. I love it. I can't believe Johnny made Sunday Fun Day. That just makes total sense for him. So, the ambassador of Fun Day. So here's the thing: is what else did how did you get the comedians? Did the comedy house get the comedians, or okay? So they did all the stuff they typically do.
They're scheduled already. Yeah.
They're already scheduled. And so we had actually had one of the comedians the first time we had hosted the event. So some people were like, oh my gosh, she was so much more funny or whatever than the first time we came. But then a lot of people were new that had come. So it was hands down, the comedians killed it. They were amazing.
Yeah, nice. What time was it?
Johnny,
the show started at 3:30 in the afternoon. So the doors opened at 2. And so people could come in and they knew that they'd have either 2 drinks or food, whatever it was included in their ticket. And so we actually had door prize forms when they came in also. Yep. Because, some people they couldn't come. And so I was on this freaking mission that we had like 25 seats and we were actually driving from Lake Havasu to Vegas to come to our event the next day, like the day before. And I messaged literally like 200 of my favorite people. And
text message them, right? Text
not
messages.
Even joking. I was like, hey, we have a couple extra tickets. I'd love to see you tomorrow. Can you make it just personal, just like name included, not group texts. And I'd probably talked to at least 75 people about it. And I booked those 25 tickets.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was my best thing that I've probably done to date on an event is the day before personally reaching out. Besides because we send an email messenger or like a Facebook messenger, we do a lot of things like to follow up because we truly believe in communication. But that personal text from me like the day before to check in, or they're like, oh, we're already coming. I'm like, well, I just wanted to make sure, you know what I mean? Like it was just more communication personally was my favorite thing probably to date.
And that's the key to this, right? I mean, I think that's why, the invitation sequence and the confirmation sequence we kind of combined here. And that's really how it is in an event, is that, the invitation sequence and the confirmation sequence, they overlap. If somebody confirms or says yes immediately, the rest of the sequence are really just confirmation calls, or in your case, a confirmation text. But if they, don't confirm, they don't RSVP, then it's invite. And the text message in this case would have been an invite instead of a confirmation. So, I think that's a big thing that people need to understand is, who do you want to go? And then they're on the invite list until the very end. And even if they say yes, that you're going to communicate the same way you said you were going to communicate. You're just going to communicate a confirmation instead of an invitation. So
it's easy to get lazy. Like I've been doing events for a while now, right? So we do the invite on Facebook, we post on the tribe, we got the vendor post. So people are involved. Like it's a thing. We filled up the tickets within a few weeks or a couple weeks. And I honestly didn't even text anyone. Like we just filled up the tickets. Right. And so I didn't really try, but we had messaged and we did our system, my team did. But then when I get into something, you know what I mean? Then it was a lot more communication. So you just have to be careful because it can appear like the event's going you have the people you want there, but really we got to dig deeper within ourselves and give more effort, I think, because I think it's easy to slack a little bit. At least I did. I fully slacked out.
Listen, Toril, I mean, it's like you're give yourself some grace, right? I'll be totally honest with you. I didn't do anything the last few events. I mean, we would go and invite people. They'd all say yes, and I'd go. I mean, that's what you've built. You've built this vibrant, radiant tribe, and people know that going to events is part of being a part of the tribe. So you put it in the tribe that you have 260 and 300 people get interested because because they know the system. They know what's going to be good. They love you guys. So I think there is something but what I do like is you didn't just rest on, well, we'll have 235 there anyway, so I'm not worried about the 25 tickets. You're like, no, I want to fill the joint. I want the place to be packed. So you got on the hoof a little bit to fill the 25, and then the other communication became either sorries, or RSVP regrets, or it was we're already registered and we're going, and you're like, oh, good. I wanted to make sure you're going, right? Mm-hmm. And what's funny is your communication was awful. You're like, you're invited. I want you to know, and you're like, yeah, we know. We're already said yes. But the fact of the matter is that's okay. They still love it. And it's a nice, honest mistake. And they're like, yeah, we're going. And you're like, oh, good. They're like, oh, she really wanted me to come. And the fact is, if this was cold calling or some other, and you did some mistaken communication, you'd get cussed at, yelled at, and probably turned in. Right. So I love it. I love what you had to do there. And all right. So now we're having the event. Right. And so, Neal, I want to get your perspective first on the event sequence, on the flow. Now, did you get there early, Neal, because you were shadowing them, or did you just come in and flow in with the clients?
I was relatively early. I wanted to see what the flow looked like and how the sequence of what they were doing and stuff like that. For sure, I came in early. Okay.
And so, what was it like? What was it like to experience?
It was great. I mean, they had the welcome. They had I took a lot of pictures. Johnny at one point, it's like, Neal, you got to stop. You're stealing all my stuff, dude. I'm taking pictures everywhere. He's teasing me. I'm like, it's pretty funny. And so
you're learning from the masters.
Absolutely.
I would have been the same thing, right? Taking pictures everywhere.
He's like, why the heck are you coming to this? I'm like, dude, I get like 10 referrals at my events and you guys are like 50. I'm like, maybe I can learn a few things, right? And then my wife said, Neal, I think they're both nicer than you.
I hate to agree with her. But so let's keep going with this. So you went. Did you have a registration table to register at?
Yeah, registration. They had really cool the door prize entry forms. They made them all pretty and stuff like that. I mean, I definitely wrote a lot of notes, took pictures and stuff like that. One of the cool things they did is they had an ability to. They had a charity, obviously, and they had ability to. It was for a food bank for people to donate instead of just putting in a cash box. Yeah. They had a QR code, and you could just sit and shoot it, and it made it really simple for somebody to donate money.
I thought that. Toril, how much did you guys raise for the food bank? Do you remember?
Over like $1,000. And this is my favorite part is we've done lots of food drives. Like we're very much, you have to have a drive associated with your events. Yeah. But I'll tell you, food is freaking heavy. Like we've had like 2-ton goals, but who carries that food? It's us. So I'm like, we're going to do a gift card, cash, QR code drive and collect money. And then the food bank can go buy what they need. And it worked out great. We were just shy of
$1,000. Like that's going to buy so much food. It's not even funny.
So much food. And then we didn't have to carry the food. It was such a win.
and that's a little bitty box. And I really liked the also your door prize entry forms too. It just, everything was clean and you guys obviously have done it before. So.
All right. So were the door prizes at the registration table or were they in the
door prizes there? Entry form. I really like. I took a picture of their door prize entry box. I got to get one built. And they had the
just buy it on Amazon.
Oh, you can? Okay, cool.
All right. And then you
writing that down.
So you registered and you filled out the door prize entry form. How long do you think it took to fill out the door prize entry form for you?
I was quick. I mean, obviously I've seen a few of those before.
Yeah.
See, he didn't want to fill it out.
Oh,
like everyone fills out the door prize form.
He's too good for that. I'm not.
Here's the deal. She was generous enough to let me come to the event, and I'm like, I don't want to win. Like, let your peeps do that. And she's like, no. She made me do it, and I did. And I didn't win anything though.
I was gonna say, and then I won the big screen TV. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
we make sure everyone does. But the thing is we hired this company that we don't. We weren't familiar with because we don't want to work our event, right? We want to like be in conversation and communication and belly to belly with our favorite people, high fives and hugs, right? But they weren't great. And so we didn't know because they were like a temporary company or whatever. And so we actually had to let one go early. And so we only had about 150 out of, I would guess there was probably 240 people there. So we were missing a good amount of door prize entries. And I think some people are like, oh, I already did it online, or they just walked in, you know what I mean? So that was a lesson learned, that we have to do better on the employing of the people.
So how many referrals did you get from the event? Not the pre-registration, but actually from the door prize entry forms.
Just 13.
Okay, so you got 13 referrals, and how many outgoing?
Well, we had, because we had 52 total with the door prize, or with the enter to get a ticket and the door prize.
Okay, and then how many did you give total to vendors?
I think it was about 100 to vendors with both.
Yeah, so 75 plus 25. So you got 13 and 25. And
that's one of the things that, real quick, that's one of the things that I thought they could do better, just to piggyback so we can stop right now, finish that thought, is if they would have had people that knew their people, I think that they would have probably gotten another 15 plus referrals, because the people didn't really understand that part of it. So I think that, Toril, you and I talked about that already, right?
It was better that like us that are the main team leads that invited most of the people were just at the front entry saying, welcome to the event, fill out your door prize form. We're going to be doing some cool door prize drawings in a minute. And over here is where you'll get your tickets for your items.
Which I have to tell you, there's like the who is not you, which I say all the time. And that's, leverage, delegate, so that you can be, the belle of the ball, the prince and princess, the king and queen, of the event. And so that you're kind of flowing around and you're not locked into anything. But this is also the flip side of that, is that registration table person is really key. And I have to give a shout out to Janelle Anderson of Old Republic Home Warranty in Kansas City. She was my point person for this for years, and she was gold. Like, she was so good at getting them to fill out the form, and they were like happy to do it. Like, oh my God, that's awesome. You mean I get a chance to win that? That person is critical when it comes to these events. And the key, I think, is it really can't be you. If you can really figure out another super friendly person that can, run the role and understand the role, that's your best case scenario. If you get locked to the registration table, you end up just at the registration table. You never get the chance to love on your people as much as I think you should, right? So I love the fact that you leveraged it and you learned. Here's the thing. Gosh dang it. We totally screwed this event up. And we got 52 incoming referrals and we have 100 outgoing referrals. That's a pretty good screw up, if you're asking me, right? Here's the thing. It's life, right? Learn, implement, fail, evaluate. Learn, implement, fail. You're failing at a really high level at this point. Would you agree?
Wait, can we tell you about our biggest failure?
Yes.
So the biggest failure is we had, all these 260 online door prize, or not door prize, but, entries filled out with 39 referrals and me's sitting there for like 60 days.
Oh, no.
That we didn't immediately follow up with those referrals, and 4 of them bought houses.
Oh God. How'd you find that out?
Because I was like, we need to follow up with all these people, because I want to thank the people at the event for connecting us, just like you had said you should do, right? It's a no-brainer. And so we could give them an update on how their referral is going. And so all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's in the cloud. I'm like, send me those, whatever they had put, and how many referrals did we get? So it just got missed. And so now we know, legit 4 people bought houses. They were really good leads.
That's a crusher.
That's
what I love about this too, right? Here's the thing. Thanks for proving the concept, even though you had to prove it in a very not good way. The proof of the concept is these are good referrals. That some people are like, 170 referrals, they'll have to be like leads, And I'll be the first to admit, 10% of them are like them referring their 18-year-old son who will never not be able to buy for 8 years, right? It happens, right? But you know what? A majority of these are referrals. And the only reason we got them was because of the system. you know. So I'm sorry to hear about those 4, but I'm also excited that you have plenty of others to work on in the meantime, right? So
Yes.
love that.
Learn
All right.
from my mistakes, please.
So did you open the event? Who was the MC of the event?
No, I did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I always
Tell
have
us
a
about
mission that we, that I want to do, like a small, thank you for coming. And I wrote out a speech and practiced it just like we do in CRT. And then did all the door prizes. And for each prize that the vendor donated, we'd call the winner and we'd call the vendor.
You did that before the show started.
Yeah.
So you gave away the door prizes before the show started. Okay.
Yeah, before the show, because I don't want to take the door prizes with me and then give them later. I just want to get everything gone.
Okay.
And
Michael, I've done a comedy event and I did it after.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked her doing it beforehand. The flow was way better, and it kind of got the mood, energy, got people's attention for that. They did a lot of pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
that was a huge learning for me.
I love it. I've seen it done both ways, and I love that this worked out this way. This is great. So you did, hey, thank you for coming. The reason we can, hold these events is because of you and your referrals. I could spend money chasing and, spending it on marketing and advertise, but I'd rather spend it on you guys, right? That kind of thing.
And I shared that we're the most recommended team. Thanks to them, we have over 1,000 5-star reviews.
Jeez.
And everyone cheered. And I said, and because of you and without you, we wouldn't be the only give back company in our community. And thanks to you, we've contributed on your behalf almost $240,000 to local charities. And it was like a huge, raw, like amazing. And I was shocked actually that everyone was really excited about it. And a shout out to the vendors and the comedy club. So it was like short and sweet, but I think that we got the point across of how much my cheers was to love, generosity, and appreciation, because that's what it was all about.
Mm.
And Michael, I will tell you, I mean, their people love them. Right. And you can really tell, and they love their people, and it really comes across. But when they talked about, we are giving back the money to charity, the room, the energy just ramped up so high. Everybody was just like, yes, we're doing this. We're a part of this. We are giving a couple $100,000. That is awesome. I think it's because it's kind of layering, right? I mean, you have, the whole thing of, 1,000 Google reviews. She has 1,000 Facebook people in her group, which is enormous, right? She's doing the charity thing, which is killing it there, and doing a client event. It just, all the layering, I think, really is tribute to their success, for sure.
Definitely. All right. So did you go up there and go like, I'm not funny? Did you start with that one? Because that's what I would have started with. I was like,
I did. I was like, I wish that I was more funny. And then people laughed that I wasn't funny.
There it is. I mean, that is the greatest opening ever for a comedy night. You go up there and you stand, and you're standing a little nervous anyway, and you go, I'm not funny. And everybody starts laughing. Yes. It's like the funniest thing they hear all night. And it's like,
but we didn't have the door prize entry box up there. Like somehow, like it wasn't communicated to bring it to me. And so then we had like a pause, and I have a joke that I know. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to tell you my joke.
Oh,
and
God,
so I told
please.
Joke, and they laughed.
They did?
It's a legit funny joke.
All right, you got to tell it. What is it?
So how do you catch an elephant?
Look at Johnny right now. Oh my God.
It's a great joke. I love it.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so how do you catch an elephant?
How do I what an elephant?
Catch an elephant.
Catch an elephant. How do I catch an elephant? Climb up a tree and act like a nut? No, that's a squirrel. I don't know how to. We don't have a lot of elephants here. I tend to try to catch more squirrels.
Right. So you dig a hole, and then you fill it with ash. You line it with peas, and when the elephant comes by to take a pee, you kick him in the ash hole.
That's pretty good. That's awesome.
I love it. It's a Norwegian joke.
You did say ash, right? I mean,
ash.
Just so that we can keep our non-E explicit rating here on Referral. Yeah. I've known a few ash holes. So I'm really glad you brought that up, right? So how do you catch an elephant? And so when he's there to take a pee, you kick him in the ash hole, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know who would be really proud of that joke is Howard Brinton.
I know.
He would have so loved that joke. So he would have gone, that's so funny, Toril. That's so funny. I can't believe you said
And then
that.
I just said it, and that's the joke I remember.
Yeah. Awesome.
For some reason, that's my joke.
That's so much better than like, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. I absolutely love that we now know how to catch an elephant, right? Yeah. All right. Speaking of assholes. No, I'm just kidding. So, all right. Neal, you didn't win though, right? You didn't win. Were you there for the whole comedy night? Did you stay?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was fun.
So, once the door prizes are given away, how many door prizes did you give away?
38.
Oh my God. That might be the most I've ever heard ever.
But what we did though,
and Neal didn't win one? What the heck? Neal, you had 38 chances, dude. Come on.
See how I ranked.
We had 16 of them were Yeti cups. Our Toril House's Yeti cups.
I like that.
Love. And so
branded, right?
What we did is we did 8 at a time. So we did the vendor prizes individually, and then we said, okay, we're going to call 8 of you up to come pick a cup, and then we did a group picture of 8 and 8. So that way it was fast.
Yeah, and one thing I love about that too is that it had to raise the energy in the room a little bit because people are standing and moving, right? Yep. Standing and moving. So they're not just sitting there the whole time, right? Standing and moving. 8 people, picture, boom, they go back, and then your next prize, one person comes up. And so I love that. That's very well managed. And what's your theme? I want people, on your Yeti cups, you have a really cool like slogan for the year. What is that again?
Well, depending on what, so it's a collection. Yeah. So we want people to want all of the Yeti cups, right? And so
like me
right now we have, for the 250,000, because we're trying to get to the 250. We're almost there. Our theme is work hard, play harder.
Work hard, play harder. Yeah, I love that. And here's the thing, work hard, play harder. How great does that fit into a comedy night? Yep. So it just fits into your theme of the year and what you're doing with your collector cups this year. And please, I hope people notice the brilliance of having collector cup Yetis for your tribe. And then let me see that.
We're always shooting
dude, if you're not watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, listen to it now, finish listening, and then go to our YouTube channel, which is Get Referrals. That makes sense that's our YouTube channel. And look at it, and you've got to see those cups. It's really well done.
So we do the 250 because we always do what the next goal is. So our next ones will be 300, and there'll be a new version of the cups. It will have a new tagline with our Toril House's brand. But right now, one of my favorite things, our motto is work hard, play harder. And see, Neal
let's all show our brand.
Copycat of Toril cups, NKS.
Right. Yes,
but hers are way better, obviously.
No,
because you have the heart on it with the money. I know for next round. I've taken a lot of notes.
I love it. All right. So Neal, were the comedians funny?
Yeah, they were really funny.
Did you have a good night?
Good.
Johnny's
you
laughing.
took your wife too, right?
Ask Johnny what happened.
Okay, what happened, Johnny?
I accidentally spit my drink all over Neal because of a joke.
That's awesome. I mean, sure, it was for a joke, but I've spit a few drinks on Neal too.
It was us. We were sitting there. Toril got up. Luckily, she got up at the right time. All of a sudden, woof, just all over it.
That's awesome.
I about fell over laughing. That was so funny.
Oh, that's good stuff. And so, I mean, here's the thing about that though. You see how this event becomes a talk about, right? You want your tribe to have talk abouts. What are they going to talk about? Well, you can bet everybody's talking about the comedy night for at least a week, maybe 2 afterwards. They're just talking, oh my gosh, we heard the funniest comedians, and sometimes the best thing to happen is something weird, somebody, does spit their drink out, or somebody does mess up, or somebody, one of the comedians fight for, some reason. Not that I would condone that, but I mean, that's what happens. They end up talking about it forever. So you got to have talk about it.
There was that one moment, Toril, talk about it, something about a plastic fork. Remember that?
Oh, oh,
Oh yeah.
so you've ever eaten like a salad and all of a sudden you realize that part of your fork is missing and you've eaten it?
Oh
Well,
no.
he had a spot in that where a bunch of our friends had gone to dinner and I was looking at my fork and I had eaten several of the prongs.
What?
He had a joke.
Several. How do you? I could see eating one,
I mean,
right?
there
And
was-
we've all been there, especially the
there was
Taco
definitely
Bell
one or two.
sporks, right? The
One or-
sporks are the worst about that. The two little nuggets in there, those are Gandhi, right? There's no way you don't just eat that with it, right?
There's
We
definitely
were
one or
towards
two.
the
And
back
so-
of the room, and they were running up, going, "Toril, remember that? That was you."
Toril, remember the forked pieces you ate?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's awesome. Work hard, play harder, baby.
Eat fork.
All right. So, all right, follow up. Let's talk about follow up. What have you done afterwards? I love your honesty with the whole thing where like this Google Doc just sat and you didn't follow up. What have you done so far with follow up of the 52 incoming and the 100 outgoing?
We're on a mission, so it goes to the team member that invited the person to follow up with all the people that they invited, to thank them for coming, and then invite them to our next event.
Yep.
And our next event is I Love You Latte Happy Hour on June 23rd.
Yay!
And so we're super excited for that, and to continue to follow up with the me's and the referrals until we can serve them.
Till they buy or die.
Till they buy. I was going to say that actually, but I was like,
You
should I
can
say
say
it right now?
You can say it.
Okay.
So they also did is I got this lovely box, okay,
Yeah.
with a picture, because they made sure to have a picture of my wife and I with Toril at the
Now,
front.
did everybody get this, Toril, or just Neal?
Neal got this, but we did send brownies to all the referrals.
And then we got brownies. I had one of them. I had to make sure they tasted pretty good.
They're yummy.
I love that there's only one left because that's so true, right? You get
Yeah,
it. You're
I-
like,
I
oh,
gotta
I'm not going to
keep
eat
one.
that. I'm not going to eat that.
I had to make sure the brownies are good, and they are awesome, you guys. So
They are.
They're so
really
good.
they're
are.
really, really good. So
They
this
put
was good. This is super
chocolate chips
cool.
in there. Yeah. So I love that. And you did that through what, AM cards or send out
AM.
cards or one of those services?
My mission, our goal is to send out a brownies a day to a referral, a new listing, a new pending, just thinking about someone, just appreciation nonstop.
I love it. Don't send me any brownies. Just so you
I have before. I have before.
I know you have. Don't do it anymore. I'm down like 21 pounds and I've got a long ways to go, and I'm a utilitarian though, which means if I get brownies, there's no way I can throw them away because that would be wasteful, right?
Mhm.
And Sherry and Max don't eat brownies, so there you go, right? So I eat the brownies, and usually what I'll do is, all right, I'll just eat them both right now. Right? Because then it's like, don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to be thinking, man, I should probably eat that brownie. So anyway, good stuff. So the food drive raised $1,000. The entertainers were fantastic. You did a great open and had some fun. Even told your now illustrious joke about how to eat or catch an elephant. And you've got 52 incoming, 100 outgoing. How were your sponsors? Like how did they receive the 100? Do you feel like they were all happy or?
Well, yeah, because what we do is we send immediately, like for each store prize, the check that they wanted a recommendation to someone or a connection.
Yeah.
We send them and say, hey, here's our 2 or 3 or 1 or whoever's a vendor of what you requested, the service you requested.
Yeah.
And then what we do to our vendors, and we say, hey, this person may be in contact with you, but we don't give the vendor their information besides like their name, because we don't want like a bunch of phone calls going to the people. We just say, hey, heads up, but then they might message them through Facebook or whatever because they have their name. So we make sure it's a connection, but not too crazy where they're being like called like maniacs.
Hounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we make sure and send that. And, we hate to ask like who they want to be connected with and not send them the connections.
Neal, would you sponsor the event if you were in town and you were a lender in the area?
I am licensed in the state of Washington.
Oh, well.
Awesome.
There you go.
I
do loans in Washington.
Not only would you be a sponsor, but are you going to be a sponsor partner? So would
We
you
should have done
sponsor it?
something
Do you
like
feel
that.
like, do you feel like they're,
Yeah, I mean it just their group of people are so cool, and it just they're real, and those are the type of clients you love. And they have they're really are a magnet to just amazing people, and you can tell for sure.
Thank you.
Toril, Johnny, I want to hear from each of you. What was the best thing about the event? Toril, you go first, then Johnny, and then Neal. I'm going to ask you, what was the best part of the event from your perspective?
I feel like the best part was actually just finally getting together. We had just been logging for like high fives and hugs, and no one was wearing masks. And I got to high five and hug everyone. Like it just, and if people didn't want to be part of the event, they didn't have to come. But the people that really were longing to get together got to get together. So I feel like we definitely reached over 1,000 people about the event, and the feedback was great, even if they couldn't make it. A lot of people had kids tournaments and you name it, but I always say to my team, just like you say, Michael, I'm like, it's not about the event. It's about the communication about the event. And if we just do that and be in communication with people, our business is just explode with opportunity and generosity.
Love it. Johnny, what was your favorite part or best part?
My favorite part would be just to see everybody's faces again and get to actually like touch them and like hug them and like shake their hands and just be around them. That's what's really needed today, and it was there for us. So
yeah, I just spoke the other day, and I literally had not thought about it. I stood up, and right off the bat, I was just like, people right now are going from caged and enraged to uncaged and engaged. That's the spirit that I see on the street. Is that it's almost like they're being uncaged, like the doors are open, like I can go, and they're engaged, like they're wanting to be engaged. They're wanting to like re-engage with their professionals, and so I think that's a big part of what you're saying there is just like, man, they're uncaged and they're wanting to be engaged. It was great to engage again with the people of our community. Neal, what did you think was the best part or favorite part?
Real quick on that, it's so important. I think you called this about 18 months ago with COVID. You said, Neal, people are going to be ready to go, and this event mastery class is so important. And I totally agree with you. You got to do events now more than ever because everybody's ready. I mean, they're turning around and doing another event June 23rd. That's right around the corner. That's awesome. So, I mean, for me, the so many things. I learned a ton. Obviously, it's great seeing Toril and Johnny and seeing them in their space and stuff like that was awesome. One of the biggest things I liked was that I took away was the door prize entry form for each ticket. And I just thought that was super brilliant. And I was like, I had a huge epiphany. I really liked Sunday afternoon. Events can really work a Sunday afternoon because I'm looking at doing a brew kind of thing instead of a night Sunday afternoon. So that's what I have my team working on. They got a video out of the event 2 days after, right away, turn around. Here's the video of the event. That's and then awesome. Crush that. Cause my video guy struggles a little bit on timing. So we have to push
2 days is unbelievable though. I mean, we were always a week. So 2 days that's phenomenal, right?
And it could have been 1 day, she said, except for they changed a few things. The other thing was they had no drink, they had no food and 2 drink tickets, and that's it. And so that was the other thing that I got out of it was I don't have to be the hostess with the mostest and spend a lot more money. And even then everybody was ordering food and all of that kind of stuff. And those are some of the key takeaways I got from it.
So Toril, that does bring up a question. What was the P&L on this? Like how much was it, and how much did you raise through sponsor partners, and where'd you end up?
The total cost of the event and every single thing was $4,341.
Okay, and then you offset some of that.
Yeah, well, we had before COVID kicked in, we had generated almost $45,000 in our event sponsorship package.
Yeah.
In December.
That'll just pay for 11 comedy nights. Just doing the quick math there. That's good since you only do one a year.
Prizes. Yeah. So I still have reserves. So we let the last 2 years fly, right?
So basically it's zero. The cost to you was zero.
Yeah, 0.
And you got 52 referrals and you handed out 100.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
And I'm sitting there going, I don't get
Drop the
sponsors.
mic.
Yeah.
I literally just broke my mic.
I don't get sponsors at mine. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get sponsors.
Yeah. So when you run the system, it's amazing how well the system will run. And what's better? I literally just broke my mic, dropping my mic. It's becoming a talk about. So what's cool is you're making money, right? You're getting referrals and you're making money, and I'm gonna have to figure out the whole mic thing later. So that's awesome. I mean, I hope everybody else dropped their mic. Anybody who's listening to this, you dropped your earbuds. You dropped your computer. You dropped like it literally cost 0, and it generated 52 referrals and 100 for sponsor partners who are going to give her even more money so that she can make even more money making money. And here's the thing. It's not about making money. It's about making people happy. It's not about making people feel awkward. It's about making people feel awesome. And that's what Toril and Johnny do. That's what Neal does. That's what I teach and hopefully do is that we want people to feel awesome. We don't have a system that makes people. Was anybody feeling awkward that night, Neal, other than you when you got spit on?
Really weird. I actually was falling over laughing. I wasn't awkward at all.
Yeah, even the spit was not awkward, right? When you're with awesome people, the spit is awesome. I'm telling you. So
it was a good drink.
Yeah. What was left of it?
There was no awkwardness at all. I everybody was just feeling the love. You could tell the energy in the room, and it just, Johnny, I think of the group, Johnny did the best at working the room.
Yeah,
going around.
He is that guy. I mean, he's the ambassador of fun.
Sure.
He's one of the best I've ever seen at that. To be totally forthright. I mean, and
everybody
loves him.
I said, "You're not working. Everybody's up front working." He's all like, "What are you talking about?
This is his work. That's what he.
I went around eating appetizers off of tables.
That was his role, was to love on the people, and they love him back. Yeah. So awesome. So all right, what's one thing that you would do better next time? So Toril or Johnny, you go first. Neal, you go second, and then Toril, you go third.
I wouldn't hire that team that came and helped us. That was kind of the thing that we should probably do next time.
So have part of your team do the registration table instead of hiring a service, right? And it's just that's too bad. I've had pro temps and best temps do events for us, and they were fantastic. But sometimes it takes 3 and you get 2 good ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry that had to happen, and lesson learned, right?
But Michael, you solved that. You don't have a vendor, home warranty company, Bubbly. That was a key takeaway for me there too. It's like, it doesn't have to be a hired person.
That's right.
True.
That's right. Toril,
but other than that, it seemed like everything moves pretty smoothly and stuff, and everybody had a great time. So other than that, it seemed perfect, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up on the events to me was the leads. That was a big one, right? That's the one thing, Toril, I would say it would have been nice to have you up on stage afterwards, just thanking everybody, going up real quick and say, "Hey, everybody, thank you so much for showing up. So appreciate you." And because that's totally you. And just a 2-second close, I think that would have helped.
Even better would have been both of you. I think if it was both
great.
Toril and
your whole
Johnny,
team,
right?
Because your team up there, right?
Yeah, you run a family environment. Have the whole team. I love that even better.
Yeah.
The whole team comes up and says, "Hey, we just wanted to say thank you so much. Hope you had a good time." And that's the entire script. And you're waving, and everybody leaves. And the nice thing about that is you don't get stuck by the door, causing a bottleneck, because people are loving on you on the way out the door, right? So you can be at the front and wave them goodbye, and they still love on you, and you guys are waving goodbye. So love that. How about you, Toril? What would you do better next time?
Those 2 things. I would get up on the stage because Neal's like, "You should." I was like, "Oh, I should have." You know what I mean? This was hindsight. And the immediately follow up with any referral, always immediately. That's just
I know that one sticks in your craw. I know it does.
When she told me, she was hot. She was like, "Oh, girl."
Yeah, she's being really nice for the camera right now. I know what it was like when that was discovered. Trust me.
I can feel the steam.
Yeah. So good stuff. I mean, this has been just an amazing episode. The fact that we can get Neal's perspective on all of this as well, and the fact that you had such a great event with the mess ups, that's what's so funny is like, oh my gosh, we messed this up, and yet it was phenomenal, like better than, what's top of class in the real estate world for events? You know what I mean? I mean, this is like top of the top of the top of the top, and it's just one of those where, congratulations and kudos for having basically a profitable event that also led to, 52 referrals and 100 outgoing referrals for the people who made the event profitable in the first place, So I love that.
One of my favorite things real quick is when I was doing those texts is I was texting all my parents' old neighbors, and I was like, hey, I want to make sure you're invited. And Bob calls me. He's like, nope, we can't make it. We have arrangements, but in the next 90 days, I'm going to be selling my house, and his house is worth $2 million.
Nice.
Just from the text message for the, here's what's cool. That we forgot we're not even talking about the power of the invitation, and the fortune is in the follow-up, which is you get referrals from people who don't even attend, who don't even, sign up or register or sign up for a door prize. So that's a great example and a great reminder for all of us. How about final words of wisdom for anybody that's thinking about doing a comedy night or an event of any kind? Toril?
I think just don't let this overwhelm you. Like, start where your comfort zone is. And everyone, even if you're an independent agent, you still have a team. You have your title, you have your escrow, your home warranty, your inspector, your vendors, and get them involved and invite all your favorite people and have a happy hour. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, this is fairly, this is really fun and easy. And then you eventually grow into the 200 plus people events. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, I started at an I Love You a Latte where we had 20 people come. And so how do you eat an elephant, right? It's the one bite at a time. So I think just do it. Just make a plan and get some people together and do the door prize form. And then you'll be surprised where it can go from there.
Mm-hmm. I like that. The word of the day is elephant. The word of the day is elephant. Everybody has to say the word elephant. So, all right, Johnny, what words of wisdom for someone who's considering doing a comedy night or an event in general?
I would just tell them don't try to do too much. Don't try to expect too much. Just go out there and make sure that you're talking to everybody that's there, and your main goal would be just to make touches with people.
Yeah, love it. Neal, how about you?
This is from Toril. Poll your audience. Is figure out what they would want to do and do that. I mean, I even went in the middle of COVID, I was nervous about an event. I called Toril and she's like, poll your audience. And they're all done with COVID. It was kind of towards the end. And I did, and they're all like, we still want to do this event. And she really pushed me to do it. So that would be, I think, the big one.
Yeah, love that. Which means ask your database, ask your tribe what events they want to do, and then pick the one that comes up the most. It's that easy. It really is, to make it happen. So I'll tell you, this is one of those episodes I think people are going to play on replay and replay and replay. They're going to go to YouTube and watch it and learn a ton from that. And I just want to say, Toril, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on once again. Always appreciate your insight, and thanks for sharing today.
Our pleasure. We absolutely love you guys. And thanks, Neal, for coming to the event. That was such a pleasant surprise.
Thanks for having me.
Johnny didn't even actually know I was coming to the event. I think.
It literally made my day. Like, it just made the whole event, I think. So he was like our biggest cheerleader, and it just felt good. And I think that's another reason that I wanted to fill up the thing, and I needed to get those 25 more seats, is I'm like, frick, Neal's coming. This better be the best thing we've ever done. So,
got to impress Neal, right?
Yes. And I seriously, you know how I am. I'm like, I get on a mission. So I was like, this
aren't surprises really cool. The best? Aren't surprise parties the best? Aren't surprises just the most awesome things in the world? I love surprises. I just do. So Neal, thank you again, as always, for coming on and spending your resources on going up there and learning more and shadowing them and then sharing with all of us kind of what a great, how often do we get a chance to actually talk to a person who attends the event? Not very often. A lot of times we're interviewing the people who host the event. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing once again on Referrals Podcast.
Well, thank you, and you're welcome. The group of people you have, Michael, brought together, just so amazing, just amazing givers, and it's cool to be a part of it, for sure. So
definitely a leader in generosity generation right there, Neal Smith. And so here's the thing, viewers, listeners, do me a favor, first of all, and do yourself a favor. Go to joingengen.com right now and join the generosity generation. It's a referral community. You want referrals? Join the referral community, joingengen.com, make that happen. And then the next thing is you've got to join eventsmastery.com. Event Mastery is a 7-week class where I'm going, hold your hand through 7 weeks of planning, of inviting, of confirming, of having your event, and the follow-up. I'm going to hold your hand through the whole process for 7 weeks, help you do your event so that you can maximize your event. It starts soon. Check it out at eventmastery.com. Thanks everybody for attending this awesome, amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. And I'm telling you, if you thought this one was good, wait till you see next week's. It's going to blow your mind. I can't wait for you to hear it or see it. We'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.